charcoal?
Let's see, the fattest piece of charcoal that I have. Here is a piece of paper.
Okay. Is that little beautiful sewing kit that you showed me this morning?
So right now, I'm going to do this and turn around our lovely table. And I'm looking behind me for, sorry, get your foot. So many things in this universe. Okay. Okay, I want that to be visible in this thing of Arta making her eyebrows beautiful.
For Bonnie.
For Bonnie Moira. Okay. Here is a piece of paper. Sketchbook. And a piece of charcoal. Arta can use a Conte pencil. Woo! Almost chopped my finger off with my X-Acto knife.
Oh, oh dear, that's going to bleed now.
No, I said I almost chopped my finger off. I didn't chop my finger off. And here is another pencil. Does that work, or do you want a piece of charcoal? Okay. Okay, now that we have set up all our goods, I'm going to close the blinds on the window just a bit so that it's not quite so bright behind us. Let's see if that looks better. There we go. So the conversation right now, Arta, as you may see, this is my attempt to do a close-up, is sketching with the sketchbook and Conte pencils that she asked me to bring in from the time that I signed up for a drawing class with Duncan, where I didn't realize till we started our life drawing class together that the life that we were drawing was a little bit less clothed than the life that I thought we were going to be drawing. So I have a lot of goodly instruments for the drawing of naked people. That's a whole post to be written. Upon drawing naked people with one's 19-year-old. Okay, Arta.
When I was about in grade 7, the teacher began to introduce geometry, and in the introduction used two words I'd never heard before. One was perimeter and one was parameter. The teacher explained we would mostly be using the word perimeter, and it would mean the inside of a circle. So somehow we were to believe that we could put a circle down, and that we could just walk around the edge of that circle, and that if we had counted all the steps that went around there, then we would know what the perimeter was. And then the teacher introduced another concept, saying this would only be true if there were a mythical line, just it was so fine that you couldn't even name it or describe it. Or it could be a little fatter than that, but that would be the parameter. So then if I were to walk the perimeter of a circle, that would be one thing. If I were to start at the same place and just go on the outside, then walk around the parameter, then I would be finding something else. So for some reason, my mind was cast back to this because I've been trying to write a poem. And sometimes when I'm writing a poem, I capture something or I begin to think about some idea from the past and wondering why I didn't really make more use of that idea. At any rate, here now you can see in front of you perimeter, parameter. I haven't quite finished this out for my new book, but I am trying to figure out what's the difference. I can remember the teacher explaining to me that space between the perimeter, that inside of the circle, or that number that we give to walking the outside of the circle, can only be designated by another mythical kilometers or maybe miles per hour or maybe any unit of measurement. Now, Rebecca and I were thinking about this. Mostly I was thinking about this because, I had something else on in my mind. And she said, Art, I love it. You're doing Deridian theory. I'm thinking to myself, I'm what?
Well, she was talking about how the outside of the line might be the inside of some other circle, and that you could only know that if you'd had an inside by the outside of an outside. And all of a sudden I felt I was in a lecture on Deridian thought or the Lacanian absent other or something.
And I was only thinking of this in the context of, here's a little girl and she's thinking about taking this little walk around the inside of the outside of a circle, and what would I want to tell her about it, and what would she be able to understand about it, and would this have any meaning to her when she began to think about how life is lived in the Arctic, or how life is lived along the, I don't know now, are we going to call it the perimeter or the parameter of what we...
The parameters of our understanding.
Yeah, or just
about the perimeters within which we walk.
Something even more simpler, just the parameter of the country that we live in, or would that be the perimeter? So I think that would be really fun. That would be a really fun observation to make in the context of folding clothes over a bedside. Somehow you've pulled all these clothes up, they've all got to be folded, you toss them out in the bed, you try to make something interesting to some little girl who also knows she's got to fold the bed linens and
doesn't want to.
And may not. This recording is being stopped.
So she says.